So turn to the back side of 11-5 and let's do the left-hand column together. We're not going to do the ones on the bottom. Let's just look at these 4 and see if you're ready for the next day. Find each measure. The first one is the measure of angle ABE. That angle is found right here from A to B to E. Well, the angle is still on the circle. That means it's going to be half of the arc, but it can only be half of the arc that's inside the angle. If you ignore the rest of the picture, then what's inside the angle is that right there, 128 degrees. Okay, the rest of the circle doesn't matter. What matters is what is inside angle that we're dealing with, ABE. So the arc is 128, half of that is 64, I believe. I just want to double check myself. 128 divided by 2, 64. Okay, so now we're going to focus on finding the measure of arc BC. BC from here to here. Okay, it's an arc of the circle, and if you look back this way, then it all goes back to angle E, point E right here. Unfortunately, I don't know either one of those, so I have to find another way to figure it out. Well, if this one is 68 right here, then the angle that's right on the circle, 68 degrees, it's half of the arc. So I have to do this one by going backwards again. If this 68 degrees right here is on the circle, then to go to the arc that's bigger, I have to double it. When you're going from the smaller piece to the bigger piece, you are multiplying by 2. So that would be 68 times 2, or 136 degrees right here. Not the one we want, it's just helpful information. Because the one we want is right here. The one we want is from B to C. So I want you to think about it and look at it for a second while I am going to pause for a second. I want you to look at everything you know about circles. What do you notice? Okay, did you see? You can pause if you're still not ready to go on. Did you see that this is 128 degrees right here, and this is 136 degrees, and this is unknown, but what is the yellow part? What is all the way around a circle? 360 degrees. So all you have to do is take your 360 degrees, subtract the two that you know, 128 and 136, minus 128 and minus 136. And you get a total of 96 for right here. Just make sure that you're answering the final question correctly. BC is 96 degrees. You can double check it by adding the 128, the 136, and the 96 together, and you should get a total of 360 degrees. Look down at number 3. The one they want is angle RPS. It always just helps to go ahead and highlight the one you're trying to find, RPS, because it helps you keep everything straight in the end. RPS is an angle that's inside, but it's not on the center. It doesn't follow the center rule. It follows the inside rule. It's inside the circle. So it means that the angle equals the arc sum. You add the two arcs together and then you divide by 2. So angle RPS equals the sum of 2 arcs divided by 2. The arc sum, adding together, divided by 2. So that's going to be, we have to find the 2 correct arcs. You can't just pick any 2 at random. So pick the one that's inside the arc that we chose already. I'm going to put it in green. Inside that angle is this arc, 201 degrees. But the other one that counts is the one that goes with the vertical angle. These are not vertical arcs, but these two are vertical angles. So you go here and you do this. When you're doing these, you want to make an hourglass kind of, or a bow tie. I know it's kind of lopsided, but it's still the same idea. They're across from each other. Okay, that's really important that you pick the right ones. So if we're going to go back to solving this, then the two arcs that matter are 59 and 201. 201 plus 59, and then you divide by 2. So you can work that out on your own calculator. 201 plus 59, looks like that'd be 260, and then divide by 2. We get angle RPS is 130 degrees. Number 5. This one's outside. The angle you're trying to deal with in this case is outside of the circle, the angle you're trying to find. So outside means that the angle equals the arc difference. You're going to subtract this time, divided by 2. So we want x, that's the angle. It equals the arc difference divided by 2. We're going to be subtracting something. You need to subtract two values, this one minus this. And you need to keep that big picture in mind because something seems to be missing here. Think about it for a second. I'm going to want to subtract the biggest, farthest away arc right here minus the smaller arc, which I'll do in green. The smaller arc is always the one closest to it because the angle gets bigger as you go farther away. All right, well, I know the 116. That's pretty easy. The one I'm going to subtract, the smaller one, is 116. But I don't know what this bigger one is right here, and I need to find a way to think of a way to find it. I want you to think about it for a second while I pause. Okay, if you haven't figured it out yet, you can pause and keep trying to figure it out. This is a circle. The green and the blue arcs form a circle. They meet here and they meet here. Those are adjacent arcs. So the thing is that it adds up to 360. 360 minus 116 degrees. Whoops. You get 244 degrees. Don't automatically write that down as your answer. That's not the angle here. That's just that one particular arc. We still want this angle. That's our goal. All right, so what that does for us is it gives us the big arc, 244. So to find x now, we just subtract 244 minus 116, and then we divide by 2. X equals 244 minus 116, and we got 128. I think that's going to be 64 degrees, but just let me double check it. 128 divided by 2, 64 degrees. All right, this last one, write this down right now. This is a challenging one. I want you to think about this on your own before class tomorrow. I'll just give you a hint. Remember that a whole circle is 148 degrees, and see if you can find the piece that you're missing here so that you can set up a problem. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.